back onto the Kawasaki, right off the bat, you can really feel the extra weight of this bike. We were just playing with the handlebars on it. It's not that it's a heavy bike, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's so much of a heavier feel than the KTM 125, which is to be expected. It's got a crap ton more power though. Track's really straight though. Handles incredibly well. If the rider can stay on the bike, that is. Telling Garrett I'm getting a little tired because this is my third day in a row riding where I'm in the worst riding shape of my season. As I sit here editing this video deep into February, and I realize that it's been a month since this ride happened. It's like this is the doldrums of my year for dirt bike riding. And if you live in certain parts of the country, maybe this is when your dirt bike riding is going at its full tilt. But here in Utah, northern part of Utah, in January and February, it's the hardest time to ride. And I did a trip in southern Utah, obviously, to make this video. I've ridden this bike one time since then, just kind of here near my house, but the conditions weren't great. And then the last few days it's just been snowing, and we're finally getting a little bit of snow here kind of deep into February to make our winter worthwhile, but it's just kind of been hard time to ride dirt bikes. So I will be really excited to get out a little bit more on this bike and do some more riding with it. I just wanted to mention a couple of things, and these are things that I'll cover in the full review later on, but there's been a few people that reached out to me and noticed something about the Kawasaki's that I noticed the very first time I put my hands on it and put it in the truck, which is that Kawasaki has a little bit of they're using Nissan brakes and a Nissan clutch lever, but it's like a little bit different of a lever. It's like a skinny lever. It's got a little bit different shape to it than a lot of the other levers, and immediately when I grabbed onto it, I thought, I'm gonna hate this lever. It just felt like, oh, this is gonna be funky. But I have to say that it hasn't been an issue to me when I've been riding the bike. When I'm riding it, I'm not thinking about the levers at all. All I'm really thinking about is how freaking good the bike is, and how peppy that motor is, how snappy it is, and how planted the bike feels and straight in line that it seems to stay. So, you know, it's funny, the things that you think are going to bug you, sometimes they don't bug you at all. You just get into the flow and you get into the moment and you're like, this is really good. And the Kawasaki has a lot of those types of things. I'm working on a video, or not a video, actually maybe a video. I will do a video and maybe a podcast as well, because a lot of people have said, well, what are your thoughts on this bike compared to the Yamaha, like a Yamaha YZ250FX? Because those are like the direct comparisons, and I have been assembling some of those thoughts. What I want to do is, I've got a buddy that has a Yamaha YZ250FX, and I want to go ride with him, and ride the bikes back to back, and then go review my notes again and see if I want to change anything, because I think that these are two very, very similar motorcycles, this one and the Yamaha, and I think there's some advantages to both of them. I can make some arguments on why a certain rider would want both of them, but I do feel like for me and my money, there is one that has a little bit of an advantage over the other. I won't spoil it now, and I also don't want to spoil it now because I want to ride the Yamaha again back to back with this bike and just get a feel for that. So that should be coming up, And then also just keep in mind that this will be a sweepstakes bike. We'll be doing a sweepstakes for this one and the KTM 125 later this year. It'll be sometime around, probably starting a little bit later, maybe around April 30th and going to about June 30th. That's kind of the timeline that I'm thinking of to be able to do these. And I might even include a street bike in there, like a KTM 1290 in there, a super adventure. So leave down in the comments if you heard that thing about the super adventure, and leave a single track. Thanks, everybody.